Okay.
Okay. So, good morning. Today we have another webinar, traditional webinar on FAMB, and I would like to first of all thanks Dr. Juan for accept our invitation. For me, it's an honor to have you with us today, and we are happy to have you here. And I would like to invite Professor Garrido to give a proper introduction of you. Please, Garrido.
Okay, okay, thanks, Fernando. Hello, everyone. As Fernando said, today our speaker is Dr. Juan Paz Viera. Juan received his bachelor degree in physics at my hometown, Santiago de Cuba, in 1993. After that, we worked together for, I think, for 2 years or something like that, Juan, at the
Yeah.
Center of Medical Biophysics in that city in Santiago. Later, he received his master's degree in biomedical engineering and his PhD in medical imaging processing, also in Cuba. But he also spent some time in Brazil and in Belgium. He's currently working in an international company, Zimmer Biomet in Canada since 2013. I suppose that Juan will talk about his academic trajectory in more details and his work in this company. We invite him to open your mind about other opportunities in the applied physics to medicine. Juan, it's a great pleasure to receive your virtual visit here. And please, now is your turn. Thanks, Juan.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Bom dia. Good morning, Fernando. Good morning, Garrido. Thank you, guys, for the invitation. That's very kind of you. As Garrido was saying, Fernando was saying, uh, I will talk a little bit today about the medical imaging applications for Zimmer Biomet, my perspective from the physics point of view. And from, I will talk a little bit first about the formation, how I was able to land to get a position like this and to do the work that I'm doing today for Zimmer Biomet. Uh, I don't know how you have structured the conference. If I will do the whole presentation, and at the end, I put some signs there for questions. If you can interrupt, you can go also and interrupt and ask any questions that you have at that moment, or do it later as you want. So as my Garrido, he's also my friend. I know him from a long time ago. Said, my name is Juan Paz Viera, you see there. I'm a product specialist at Zimmer Biomet, and I will talk to you today a little bit about the medical imaging applications in Zimmer Biomet. So start here with my formation. As Garrido correctly said, I have a bachelor in physics from the University of Oriente, the hometown of Garrido, back then, like 30 years ago. And then I think I remember doing some research on the nuclear physics and also using fine element methods for calculating the effect of external forces. That was, I think, the subject of my investigations back then. But then I went into the field of medical imaging. And I started with the Center for Medical Biophysics, where Garrido and I worked together. I started working with MRI and different medical imaging modalities for, of course, for medical applications. After that, I started my studies to complete the Master in Science degree in biomedical engineering from the University in Las Villas, also in Cuba, in a sandwich modality with the University of New Brunswick here in Canada. We were back then we were investigating on the uses of the it was a new subject at the time. It was the wavelet transform, and there its applications for medical images. In particular, we were investigating, we were recreating apps to process medical images, particularly for denoising, removing noise from the images, and also compression. These are just samples, very small samples. You can see the pixels there. For example, a small detail there, how it would be when processed with a denoising method like wavelet transform. You will see also here. And we were able to write a couple of papers, sent to different publications, although this was already a topic that was very, very hot, I would say, very published at the time. Next, I would started my research and my writing the thesis for my PhD, which also was around the subject of medical image processing. Just wanna, can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Can you guys hear me? It's okay? Yeah? Because I don't see you guys. So I will continue. And the subject of medical image applications. Also for, in this case, we were investigating the effect of the JPEG 2000 compression algorithm, which is a lossy compression algorithm. That means, thank you. That means that the using a kind of compressor like that, it will deteriorate. It will remove essential information on the images. This is a small example here, how small lesions in a section in an image can be degraded, can be missing if the compression radio grows. So, and for that, we were, that's the time that Garrido mentioned that I was in Belgium, in the Free University of Brussels. That was 2008. And for that research, we were using a combination of quantitative and qualitative measures. You know, the ones that you can calculate from the images using the values in the pixel in the images, and also the measures that you can observe using human observers and also mathematical observers that simulate the vision of a human observer. For that, we choose two specific pathologies that are characterized by small, tiny lesions, and that will be the multiple sclerosis and virtual Robin space enlargements. Both pathologies are identified by tiny, small lesions that are, those lesions are the ones that will suffer the most when a compression algorithm like this will start to degrade the images. Using those calculations, we were able to establish or present a compression level that will preserve the above 95% of the detection effectiveness with less than 5% standard deviation. And that value was around 0.125 bits per pixel. We were talking here about images of 8 bit per pixel, and that's a huge increase in compression radio without losing the effectiveness of the detection of the lesion detection. Below that, the image will lose the capability of being used for medical purposes. So yeah, some publications around that we submit to medical physics. We were approved medical physics and other events and congresses that we present those research. After that, we continue. That was 2010. As part also of my formation, I did a postdoctoral state and Department of Energy, Nuclear Energy, Universidad Federal de Pernambuco in Recife, in Brazil. I was working there with Professor Helen Curie, and we were characterizing the different radiochromic films that are used to measure the amount of radiation that a patient receives during therapy using radiation. So there were different films from different manufacturers. They come with a strip, which is not, it's a visual aid, it's a visual help, but we wanted to have a more detailed curve, a more detailed characterization of the radiation received with the color that this radiochromic film will receive. Also, that led us to a couple of journal and events, publications with that work, the work that we did. The downside for this is the cost of the radiochromic film. They are usually very expensive to acquire, and also the equipment to do the test. They had their radiator there, so it was that part was able to proceed for the investigation. So that was a part, that was my formation. I also supervised some students for in their master studies, and I think undergraduate, postgraduate studies. But that's essentially, that was all my formation up to now, I would say academic formation. My current position, the one that I'm doing just until today, I'm a technical product specialist at Zimmer Biomet since 2013 up to the day up to today. Garrido asked me to mention how I would be in this position here. So I became a resident of Canada. That's a condition that they would ask. It's the only condition. You don't need to be national. They only require that you are residing here, that you live here, that you're legally residing in Canada, living in Canada. So, and they had this opening, they had this position in 2013. They were asking for professionals with a medical images processing background. So I submit my application, and I went through a process of different interviews. Some technical, they want to know who you are, they want to know your background, they want to know your experience, and they will want to know how can you solve different problems. There would be, for example, sessions of interview where they would present different problems to you, simple problems in a computer. How would you, for example, an image, they present with an image of a medical image, and you will need to segment a certain area, or have these images take different views from a 3D images, be able to identify the axial, coronal, sagittal views in an image, or describe different characteristics in the medical images. You know, different things, different tests depending on what they are looking for at the moment for the position that they are offering. After a different interviews and tests, I was able to get the position there. And I wanted to talk about the what is Zimmer Biomet. Zimmer Biomet is currently the leader, I think the world leader in all the osteo muscular tools and software hardware to help the surgeon do their operations. That includes implants, not the type of implants where you can get signal from, but the implants to replace a damaged part in the skeletal of the patient. I will mention that after. So Zimmer Biomet is originally a US company in the United States. It's based in Warsaw, Indiana. Exists since 1927. That's almost 100 years. Currently has operations in more than 25 countries. I am part of the Montreal team here in Canada. Zimmer has different other main plants, I would say main sites. The first one is the one in Warsaw, of course. Those are the headquarters. We're in Canada. There's another in France. There's another in Puerto Rico. Different places around the world. But the company sells products to more than 100 countries. The mission is to alleviate pain and improve the quality of life of people around the world. This is the website. I think depending on where you are in the world, clicking in this link, it will guide you to the website for the company in your own country. I think there's a filial, a site in Brazil, also for Zimmer Biomet. So if you're interested in anything of the different options in the company, you can check the link and see where are the offerings, the job offerings that they do. Normally they post different jobs every time, so all the time. So what do I do at Zimmer Biomet? Here I'm the medical imaging specialist, so anything related to imaging modalities that are used for in Zimmer Biomet, mostly MRI, CT, and X-ray. I evaluate the medical image quality. In this case, mostly the visual part and also the parameter acquisition. I would evaluate the way that those images were acquired. Those images are submitted to us from the scan centers so we can do our process. So they need to comply with certain regulations, with a certain protocol. Patient case image triage supervisor. So every patient case will be attached a set of images, and those will be evaluated at production. In case there is any issue, any problem with the images, I'm the person that will review and will contact the scan techs and sales reps. So I'm the customer support part. I'm the front line between production and the field and all the scan centers, all the doctors, all the sales representatives that are on the field working for the company. And that is a challenge. That's what I put the asterisk here. Garrido and Fernando were talking about the challenges that you may encounter when you transition from your academia to production or to companies that do research for popular applications. And I would say this part here, the customer support, is the most challenging one. It's the one where every engineer has faced when they are dealing with the general public. They need to vulgarize. They need to downscale their language so it can be understood by the people that you are talking to. You need to find new ways to talk to scan techs or sales reps. They are not, they don't have your same formation, so you need to be able to understand, and at the same time you are learning how to talk and be accessible and present and put that information accessible for them. And finally, I would say the scan center qualification for PSI operations. PSI is patient-specific instruments. I will talk a little bit about that. But every scan center needs to be qualified in order to send images to Zimmer Biomet. They need to comply with a certain protocol, and their scanners, their machines need to be able to run those protocols. So PSI is part of the personalized solutions. Zimmer, the main characteristic for Zimmer Biomet is that every patient will be treated differently. There's a specific implant, there is a specific instrument created for that patient based on the images that we receive. And those are always to help the surgeon in the OR to make the surgery more precise, more efficient, and also reduce time. So the surgeon will be able to do more cases in a certain amount of time. So you will see Zimmer doing implants or doing software or applications for knees mostly. This is the part where I'm working right now. Knees, hips, dental extremities. That's a lot of shoulder implants, and also reconstructive implants, and also spine. I would like to talk a little bit about the production versus research. This is mostly what I have talked so far. Is mostly production. It's producing implants or a set of guides or software or hardware to help the surgeon. Those are products. But there is also in every company like Zimmer Biomet, there is a research team that will be always investigating and doing research and at the top of the what is currently developed in science in order to improve these products. So there is always a team of research, which is the one that is leading the competition. Zimmer Biomet is not the only company doing this, so the difference will be what the research team will be able to put forward, to put in advance, to create that difference with the other companies. These are, for example, this table here. I will mention I will go to the example after, but these are some of the examples or the products. For example, in knee, I'm here in this part in the patient-specific guides. Those are guides. Those are small parts, small piece that will guide the surgeon, will help the surgeon inserting the implant. Same for shoulders. Zimmer will also do patient-matched implants. Those are patients that has suffer a lesion or some missing part of their body, a skeletal part, and Zimmer will create a patient-matched implant for that. There's also iAssist. This is a technique based on infrared cameras and some kind of mirrors to establish or to calculate the position of the body of the skeletal part in space. So I just wanted to mention one of the examples for Zimmer Biomet, one of the products that will be the patient-specific guides. This is a very common pathology, mostly in North America. The osteoarthritis is the loss of the function of the knee. This is a knee here. This is the femur. This is the tibia, and this is the cartilage here. In osteoarthritis, the cartilage will be damaged. There will be a cartilage loss. So, and there will be some osteolysis. There's a loss, like the liquefaction of the bone. Even they can even get the bone-to-bone contact. That's a very painful pathology. So the TKR, that's the mean total knee replacement. What it will aim to remove this distal femur and proximal tibia sections here, and will place metal implants, the size of the specific size for the patient, and with the necessary alignment. That will show you, for example, using medical images for the hip, the knee, and the ankle. It's possible to calculate the mechanical axis that every patient has in his leg. We all have a certain mechanical alignment. If that alignment is off, there will be more damage in one section than the other. You know, people have their legs bowed, or their legs and to the inside. That's a valgus or varus legs. Those are the mechanical axes, and those are possible thanks to the different image modality or that are used. In this case, these are MRI example. We will take, for example, the center of the femoral head, the center of the knee, and the center of the ankle here in between the two malleoli, and we will estimate this angle here. The purpose of the operation will be to correct, to bring that angle to 0 degrees, so there will be no more waste, and it will be better for the patient. This is one of the examples. This is an important part in the TKR and the total knee replacement operations. So also medical images, also MRI will give us an advantage over CT in that they can provide a map of the cartilage health. You know, the thickness of the cartilage. With this pathology or similar pathologies, the cartilage will suffer, will be reduced, and will be hardened. So MRI, thanks to MRI, we will be able to have a map of the health of that cartilage. Sometimes it's a total knee replacement, both condyles are replaced. Sometimes it's just unicondylar, depending on the health of the patient. CT doesn't offer that advantage, although we have better detail, of course, in the bone structure, which is of course X-rays is better for that. But the low part, I would say, for MRIs, the susceptibility artifacts, like here, it's an example. The image is affected by a metal artifact, and we lose this opportunity here with the information from MRI. I mentioned also there is also X-ray. It's also used for to build patient-specific instruments as another imaging method. I just wanted to show you a small comparison here, some information here. So this is an example. This is one of the products that Zimmer offer to the surgeons, where the main source of information is the medical image. It starts at the image acquisition. In this case, I'm showing you an MRI of the distal femur and proximal tibia. You can see the bone detail there, the edge, and along with the cartilage information. So starts with the acquisition of the knee images. And as I mentioned before, we also need to calculate the mechanical axis, so it will be hip, knee, and ankle, using a specific protocol required, tailored for every manufacturer. Every scanner manufacturer has different nominations, have different names for their parameters, and we came with a protocol for every manufacturer. We need to have specific slide thickness. We need to have specific contrast that we can see. For example, the bond needs to be hypo-intense, and the only hyper-intense structure around that should be the cartilage. The muscle and other areas should be in the middle intensities. So images will go through a quality control process in order, not only in terms of resolution and contrast, but also in their suitability, and if they are able, if the team will be able to produce a set of guides like the one here. So if they pass, they will go to a segmentation process. So using different techniques, using bone model and segmentation techniques that we know, watershed or other techniques. It's a combination actually that we are using to extract the shape of the femur and the shape of the tibia. Just a section here, just the distal femur and the proximal tibia section. As you see here, this is an example of the extracted femur, distal femur. So the bone model, this is a bone model here. Bone model will be reconstructed, and that will be specific, of course, as it came from the images for that patient. It will be precise, it will be specific for that patient at the moment that the images were taken. If images were taken longer than 6 months, the pathology might have changed, so we will need new images. And then the final part will be the guide design. This is the guide here, which is patent protected, of course, by the company. These are the pins that will be inserted in the bone there, and this is the general shape of the guide. This guide here, this piece of plastic, will be 3D printed. I'm sorry. That would include all the necessary information in terms of mechanical alignment, where the cuts needs to be done to set the implant, and also will carry the information on the size of the implant that this patient requires. That will reduce the number of instruments that needs to be sterilized before entering the OR. In a normal operation, the surgeon will bring a big tray with all the sizes of the implant sizes, and once he's in the OR, he will cut and start testing. That was in the normal conventional operation. Not in this case. In this case, he knows already what is the size of the implant that he will be putting on that patient, and he just needs one guy, maybe one below, one above, and that will reduce the number of instruments that needs to be prepared for the operation. Normally, for this kind of surgeries, you will see 6, 7 trays of instruments just for one patient. That will be reduced. This help reduce that number of instruments to a couple of trays, maybe. So this is the guide here. The guide using these pins here. It will let the surgeon know exactly where he has to put the cutting guide. This is the cutting guide here. It's set on these pins, and he has these slots here where he will introduce the saw there, and will create perfect cuts to place the implants. This is how the implants look like. This is the tibial implant. This is the femoral implant, and this is the poly that will replace they will make the function of the cartilage to smooth the contact between bones there. As I mentioned before, specific for every patient, there is a chance of planning the operation before performing the actual operation. The surgeon will review the plan that we are proposing to him, and if he agrees, we will proceed to manufacturing of the guides. This, I'm showing you an example here for knees. It's the same for shoulder, the same for other regions where joints are in the body. Resources optimization, we talk about that, and of course the time reduction. Conventional surgery, he could do 1, 2, maybe 3 a day. With this, he could do 15, 20 surgeries a day, and that's a big time reduction for them. Just wanna mention this is about what I wanted to talk to you today. I just want to mention one of the latest developments. Is the robotic assistant for knee. This is one of the latest development that was mentioned. The development team is just released this a couple of months ago. It's currently being sold in the US and Canada and in Europe. This robot will it doesn't need all the guides manufacturing. It has just the cutting guide and in the point of his arm there, and he will place the cutting guide exactly where it needs to be positioned to make the cuts that this cuts here. So using infrared camera and some mirrors that are pinned to the patient bone, to the femur and the tibia bone, the robot will be able to position and do the cuts without the need of these guides that we were talking. This is one of the examples that we are currently putting in the market. It's already in the market, but spreading into the different hospitals in the US and in Canada and in Europe. And I just want to close with that today, just to give you an idea of what we do. I hope this was something interesting. You can get something interesting out of this. If you have any questions, please just let me know.
Presentation. So, well, I have some questions, and I encourage our student to some questions also. Well, first of all, I'd like to know how is your daily routine? Do you work with some pressure for results? How it works?
Yeah, I'm in the part, as I mentioned during the presentation, where I need to review daily routine. Will be reviewing all the cases that have some issues, some problems in the medical images. There is always like 7-8% of the cases that are submitted to production. They have some kind of issue in the medical in their images. My daily routine will be reviewing all those cases. That means reviewing the images and contacting the scan centers to let them know exactly where is the problem and what they need to do to solve this problem and produce a new set of images so we can work with that set of images. As a product specialist, I'm also can receive phone calls from customers on the field that need to know precision about certain products. How is that product being used? What is the production process? What is the production timeline? Different questions about the whole process. It could be more technical questions like the ones on the images. It could be more production questions like the timelines and what kind of products do you have now, or how can we solve this issue? For example, when there is already an implant, there is a metal artifact. What is the way around? I would recommend CT, for example. I would recommend the other technologies, iAssist or any other. That will be my daily routine, besides meetings and all that, paperwork. So.
Is there some time for research, or
time for research would be for, as I mentioned, there's a specific team that does research. you could cooperate with a team. You could collaborate with a team to do some specific research, uh, from scientific research. As a medical company, they will be more interested in applying recent developments in technology to their product. So research might be not always in the frontier of science. It could be also research trying to produce a better product, trying to come up with a better solution or product.
From image processing technique viewpoint, is there some open questions which university could help your company to solve, or the quality of the algorithm you are using is enough for the common application in your company?
Yeah, if I understand well your question, yeah, of course, every new technology for image processing is well received as long as it improves the quality of the product. I think the latest improvement I was working in was the matching of the low resolution knee with the high resolution knee. The low resolution has the purpose of the mechanical alignment, and the high resolution is the one that will be segmented. But they need to be positioned in space, so they need to be matched in space. So I kind of those kinds of research, yeah, they're always welcome, of course, and there's always open space for collaboration with the research team.
So the techniques you are using involve somehow what they call machine learn, or what kind of technique do you use?
The techniques for segmentation, those will be only segmentation techniques. A combination of bond models with segmentation techniques. The the ones that we know, like I mentioned, watershed. Uh, some of that. It's just a combination of those techniques. And then, of course, the automatic algorithm won't be 100% perfect, so it needs to be uh, an instrument designer. That's the personnel in the production team that will review those segmentation results after, and will correct every detail to verify that the automatic algorithm do the work that it was required.
Okay.
It has an automated part. It has a manual part, and of course has a level 1 or level 2 revision, just to make sure that the segmentation process was complete.
Okay. We have a question. If you
Yeah,
see on your
yeah,
left
yeah,
side, you have the chat. So
yeah,
Renan is asking,
yeah. Question about robotic system. The ROSA is using just as a guide for precision, right? Is there a planning or development to use or drop it? Yeah, so the robot, if I understand your question, is used only for positioning the cutting guide. The cutting guide is the instrument that the surgeon uses to put the saw, so the bone is cut in the correct position. Uh, there is actually a planning. There's actually a development for the robot to perform those cuts also. Right now, it's only positioned the cutting guide, but there is a plan to develop the surgeon cutting. I'm sorry, to develop the robot cutting, but only in the presence of the surgeon and after the surgeon supervises the whole process. There's
okay,
also the for that part of that's a very interesting question. For that part, there is also image recognition, pattern recognition required. So the robot will identify the structure and will precisely do the cuts by identifying the and segmenting and recognizing the structure that he needs to operate. But always at the presence of the surgeon and under surgeon supervision.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Let me see if he can write yes or no. Hannah,
That's okay.
in some delay.
It's okay.
So no, I saw in your presentation Zimmer Biomet is. Do you have? You are present in many countries. Is
Yeah.
there some branch in South America?
Yeah, there is some branch in Brazil. I know there's one in Brazil. Okay, thank you. There is one in Brazil, I know. There's one in Colombia. We actually have people who are working from Colombia right now in my team. And I'm not sure about the other countries. I need to review, but yeah, I know there is all in Europe. There's a lot of countries in Europe, South Africa, Japan. There's a big group of surgeons using our products in Japan, Hong Kong, Australia. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think there is some demand for physicists in your company, or in general, how it's work?
Well, as you can see, as the whole idea of the presentation, you would see the role that a physicist or someone with a medical imaging experience might do in a company like Zimmer Biomet. We always have new challenges. Like I was answering that questions about the robot. There will come a time where the robot will need more image processing, more uh, more automated process. So in that part, from the medical imaging point of view, yes, there is always a need. From a physicist point of view, there is always the research on materials science
Okay.
for the type of implants that goes inside the patient. They need to be specific materials, so they could be set inside someone, so there's always a research on that area too. I don't know about all the different research teams, what they do, but you can always find more information about this in the Zimmer website, about in the job posting in the company.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question.
Sure.
It's about okay, for who you are the right guy to ask this question. For whom is coming from academia, the adaptation company is easy, or you have some advice for young?
Yeah, I mean, I was mentioning that in the presentation. There is research companies that do research, but they mostly work on grants from the government. They need to apply, and sometimes they receive these grants or not. Zimmer is a production company. We sell products, and we get a benefit from selling those products, and so we can finance our own research. So that's the main difference between two type of companies. You could be in a company doing research, but the grants, the money for that is not something that is steady coming every year. You will need to apply it, and sometimes you'll get it, sometimes not. You know how it works. Yeah, I would say that's the main difference. And as I was mentioning in the presentation, you could do research. At some point, I was doing research in the frontier of science, but then I would need to just use that for the purpose of what the company needs at the time. Is that's the other recommendation. You need to focus. You need to uh, take all that knowledge and use it only for the purpose of what the company needs from you. You can contribute at some point, but the company will be guided by how much they are selling, what products are selling, what products are not. So that's the main line to follow.
Okay, so the last question is, how is the perspective in long time? Do you think you can still work in the company for many, many years, or the turnover rate is high? How does it work?
The need for, there's a company, I was saying that in the presentation, there is always the need for medical images. So you never know, as I was mentioning, that depends on how well the products are selling, how well the competition is. If you're able to develop new products and continue being a leader that the surgeons prefer, that the customers prefer. And for that, you need to do research. You need to do to be at the top of the line technology, like we are doing now with the ROSA, which is, by the way, was developed here in my team in Montreal. But I think in a company like Zimmer, there will be always a need for people with image experience, with image modality experience, like MRI, CT, X-ray. So because it's mostly all the products need some medical images, so they always need someone to check the images and be able to talk to the field, the scan centers and the rep, to discuss with them about these images. Yeah, I think there's a prognosis good. I'm asking that question to my boss all the time.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
important question, because
Yeah.
getting a new position in the market is not an easy task, after some
Yeah.
time.
Exactly. But so far in the 7 years, I've been 7 years with the company, and there's always had been this need to review images and to investigate what happened there. And
But you need to still study, you need to study because techniques evolve in time, so you cannot
yeah,
stop.
I mean, yeah, every study that you need to do there takes time. I mean, everything. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So, well, no, it was a very nice presentation. In
Thank
fact,
you.
we appreciate when someone from company come here and share experience with us. Is very good. Is what student is asking for us. So, uh, is it possible to get position in companies, private companies, in how it works? So, we thanks you to share your experience and bring some
Yeah.
information that will help.
No, sure. I was up to Garrido when he told me about this presentation. I told him, look, this is a more production company. It's not research in the frontier of science production, but yeah, of course, it's a good place to work, and yeah.
So okay, so someone, if you have last questions, we appreciate. Otherwise, I would like to thank again Dr. Juan for the
Thank you.
nice presentation and share.
No, thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Garrido, for this opportunity. Thank you, guys. If you have any questions, you can contact me through Garrido or through Fernando.
Okay. People, so see you next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.